What happened? What? What? Why is the dragon on top of the luxury condo?
Hey guys, it's me, Megamaniacs here. And there is a whiteboard here. Right here. You might be like, Megamaniac, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Right? There is no whiteboard. That is fake wood. This is fake. This is not real. This is drywall. It's not real. You have been lied to. Well, you're probably just gonna have to imagine it there, because today we're talking about the Lego Movie. I actually have no idea what that transition was, but got this guy though. It's the guy from the movie. Yeah. So in today's video, we're talking about the Lego Movie, but not just the Lego Movie, because everyone's dissected the Lego Movie and talked about it in length. Nah, today I'm gonna do something that someone has probably done before. I don't know. We're gonna be taking a look at not just a Lego movie, every Lego movie. Every single one. Yeah. Quite the task indeed. In today's video, we're talking about every single Lego movie to celebrate the release of the newest Lego movie. Not really. The Pharrell Williams Lego, again, not really Lego, but kind of Lego film. Experience, if you will. Now, first, before we actually get into the Lego movies, we actually have to define what is a Lego movie. Well, a Lego movie, for this definition, for this video, so I'm not here quite literally all day, and I don't end up making a 6-hour-long YouTube video, it's only going to be Lego movies that release theatrically in theaters, like big releases in theaters, you know. So what does count for this video is going to be the Lego Movie, the Lego Ninjago movie, the Lego Batman movie, the Lego Movie 2, and the newest Pharrell Williams Lego Movie. And what doesn't count as a Lego movie are, for example, the Bionicle movies. If you want to watch me talk about those, I already did an over hour-long video talking about the entirety of the Bionicle lore, which 40 minutes of that was dedicated to just talking about the movies. So if you want to hear my opinions on those, I'm not going to reshred that. Again, we're not making a 6-hour-long video. It's also not going to include short films like Rebuild the Galaxy, other, like, kind of, like, semi-Lego movies that aren't, like, real Lego movies, kind of, like the Clutch Powers movie. That's not gonna be counted, and any of those that are very similar to, like, the Bionicle movie, all those that didn't release in theaters but are still Lego movies, we ain't talking about them today. We're also not gonna talk about specials, like movie specials, for example, the Monkey Kid specials. Those are they're like 40 minutes or something. I think one of them's over an hour long, so technically they can be classed as a Lego movie, and I've seen some sites class them as Lego movies, but we're not talking about those in today's video. Again, I've already talked about those before. So, we're just going to be shredding over every single Lego movie that has released theatrically in theaters. Starting with... Oh, I threw him. Starting with the first Lego movie. Wahoo. This is actually Emmett from the second Lego movie. But we're saying it's the Emmett from the first Lego movie because we just is the one I have on hand right now. Yeah. The Lego Movie 1 is a 10 out of 10 perfect masterpiece. Alright, let's go right ahead and talk about the Lego Ninjago movie now. I'm just joking. However, I really do feel like if I just left it there, said it was a 10 out of 10 and a masterpiece, and just moved on to the next movie, no one would question me, and they'd just be content with that, like, okay, yeah, that seems about right. Because it is true. The Lego Movie is a genuine masterpiece in every sense of the word, really. You could say that there are movies that are better than the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie is not my personal favorite movie ever made, but it's definitely up there, for sure. Now, there is a reason I haven't talked about the Lego Movie yet in my 4 years on YouTube and almost 2 years doing this type of content. It's because there's not really much more to add on to the Lego Movie that hasn't already been said a million times at this point. We could talk about how genius the movie is by not just being an advertisement for Lego, and actually having a extremely good and engaging plot. I mean, like, yeah, it's still an advertisement for Lego, like every Lego-related media is, but, like, this is a really good advertisement for Lego, to say that for sure. And we could also talk about how the meta commentary in this movie might have aged perfectly. Like, we live in an age of resale value in 2008 housing crisis, and the Lord business in this movie kind of encapsulates that. The dad, who is like the real life Lord business, is like, bro is quite literally just M&R. Like, he is just M&R Productions, and I don't know how these Lego YouTubers are not more self-aware that this is literally them. This is why I feel like M&R is like more of a creature, you know, like more of an act, a skit, if you will, a character. Like, there's no way people are not aren't self-aware about this. There's no way. But, like, again, overall, the movie is just iconic. There are so many lines in this movie that are just perfect, like, genuinely just peak.
Shaq, do you know what time it is? It's game time. Y'all ready for this? Oh no, they were ready for that.
So many amazing emotional moments in this movie, which is weird for a Lego movie, but yeah, it's true. It goes crazy. Again, I don't really know what to say about this movie that hasn't already been said a million times before. It's just a perfect movie. Like, genuinely a perfect movie. I will say, I think the ending is alright. I mean, the ending itself is good, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this movie really needed a sequel, like, at all. Like, the movie sets up for a sequel, and obviously, since it did so well, it was obviously bound to get the Lego Movie 2. But, like, the movie is so good, it's kind of like, did it really need a sequel? Like, it goes so hard, and it is so, like, amazing in everything it does. Like, if you just ended the Lego Movie there and not had the, like, foreshadowing to the Lego Movie 2, or didn't have any of that, it would have probably been, like, the perfect movie. And it still is the perfect movie, but I don't think it needed to be a franchise, you know? Most of the other Lego movies that we're going to talk about in this video, well, two of them, the other two are pretty unique, but two of them are just kind of trying to be the Lego Movie again, but it's like, you can't just be the Lego Movie again. Other companies have tried to capitalize on the success of the Lego Movie, like the Playmobil movie, which is widely forgot about now, but still lives rent-free in my head. That was quite the disaster indeed. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Well, actually, I tell you what they were thinking. They were thinking, we're gonna capitalize off the Lego Movie. Every single attempt to be the Lego Movie, even stuff like the Emoji Movie, like, it never was the Lego Movie, you know? Like, they could never recreate the success of the Lego Movie. And I'm gonna be honest, even though there are some really good movies that we're gonna talk about later in this video, I don't think any of them have been able to recreate the feeling of the Lego Movie. Not gonna spoil if the Lego Movie is the best Lego movie or not, or if there's the Lego Ninjago movie, Lego Batman movie, or Lego Movie 2 are better, but I will just say that it's like, none of them quite captured the same feel as the Lego Movie. It is truly a one-of-a-kind, amazing movie, like, genuinely. If you have lived under a rock for some reason, you haven't watched the Lego Movie, what are you doing? What have you been doing? Like, actually, where have you been? Go watch the Lego Movie. What's wrong with you? In fact, you should probably rewatch the Lego Movie, because it is genuinely amazing. Like, it is so good that that hour and a half of that movie felt like 15 minutes. That movie went by really quick. Not because it was like rust or whatever, it's just because it was so good and I was so engaged that it just went by in like an instant. That's all I think I can really say about this movie without just rambling on about stuff everyone else has already talked about at length. There are so many video essays on why this movie is peak that like I can't add anything else to it. It is probably one of, if not the most iconic piece of Lego media ever made. Like, genuinely ever made. It is so integral to even just movie culture in general. Like, it saves not just Lego movies or just Lego in general, but it saves movies in general, which is something none of the other Lego movies or any other Lego media in general could accomplish, which is insane to really think about. Alright, with that said, let's go right ahead and talk about the Lego Ninjago movie. Oh, the Lego Ninjago movie. The Lego Ninjago movie. Oh boy. Now, this one is widely considered to be the black sheep of the Lego movies. This was the next one to release, very not that far behind the Lego Batman movie. The Lego Ninjago movie was actually pretty hyped before release, because when you think about it, the Lego Ninjago movie is like the perfect layup for a movie. Like, Ninjago was already pretty popular, and extending that to a wider audience with a movie would have been fantastic. However, it really didn't go that way. Now, I do have another video talking about the Lego Ninjago movie, and talking about if it ruined Ninjago or not, because it does get credited a lot for ruining Ninjago. And spoiler alert for that video, no, it really didn't. The future season's rating was just so god-awful that really ruined Ninjago, not the Ninjago movie. And there is a lot about the Ninjago movie I do very much like, and a lot of jokes that are really good. The movie is just absolutely hilarious. I mean, I don't think there can be such thing as an unfunny Lego movie.
My life. How could I ruin your life? I wasn't even there.
This was a funny Lego movie. It was a fun time for sure, but it wasn't Ninjago. It wasn't trying to be Ninjago, in fact. You see, this movie feels like it was trying to take Ninjago's, like, skin and put it over the Lego movie. Like, it tries to emulate the Lego movie in a really weird way, but it just doesn't succeed. Like, at all, in fact. It just doesn't succeed at all. Kinda fails drastically. It's like the Lego Ninjago movie, especially with like the goofy live action sequences with Jackie Chan, because of course, it just doesn't like, it tried so hard to be the Lego movie, but it just wasn't it. Like, I think in a vacuum, right, the Lego Ninjago movie is good. There are a lot of scenes that are really good. There's a lot of overall things about the Lego Ninjago movie that go hard, but it's just not really a good Ninjago movie. I think the Lego Ninjago movie does kind of deserve its reputation of being a black sheep of the Lego movies, because unlike all of the other ones that at least were trying to be its own thing, the Ninjago movie just didn't try to be its own thing, like, at all. The plot is fine, it's good, it has some cool stuff in it for sure, and some unique stuff in it for sure, but it just overall tried too hard to be the Lego movie and not be Ninjago. Honestly, I'm going to be completely real with you. If they just stuck to the roots of Ninjago instead of trying to branch out and be something it's not, I feel like the movie would have done a lot better. We don't want to watch the Lego movie again, right? We want something new, and I think that if it stuck to its roots of Ninjago, it would be pretty similar to something like the Lego Batman movie, to where that is so unique in its presentation that it is as memorable as the Lego movie itself. Overall, the Lego Ninjago movie is just kind of whatever. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's not bad. Again, I don't want to say it's horrible or bad, because it's not. There are some really good moments. Again, we have Racist Woo, which is hilarious, and Garmadon is honestly the best part of this movie. He goes so crazy. He is the funniest guy. He's just peak, okay? He's just peak in this movie. If you want to see me go more in detail about the Lego Ninjago movie and also the seasons of Ninjago preceding the Lego Ninjago movie, then I did a whole separate video on that back in February, which I will link in an iCard above and in the description. Alright, let's go right ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this video. The Lego Batman movie, the Lego Movie 2, and the Pharrell Williams Piece by Piece movie. Y'all remember when Lego DC actually got content? Yeah, me too. But regardless of that, it's now time to talk about the Lego Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie. Perhaps the goofiest movie I think I have ever watched in my life. And that's not a bad thing. The Lego Batman movie is genuinely hilarious in all of the right ways. It is not only a fantastic movie, not only a fantastic Lego movie on top of that, but also a fantastic Batman movie. If you could class this as a Batman movie. Yeah, you see, this isn't really a Lego Batman movie, like a traditional Batman, dark and gritty movie. Not even like a more of a goofy movie like the original Michael Keaton Batmans. Nah, this is something special. This is not only a comedy, which is just about perfect for the Lego archetype. It's also just straight up like half a Lego Batman movie, half something else with Voldemort and Sauron and the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz. For some reason, King Kong is here in this movie. Like, this movie is more of a Lego Dimensions movie out of anything, like, because of the sheer amount of just goofy crossovers that are here. But it works so well, and I was not expecting it to work as well as it did. Even though I've watched this movie many times before, obviously, I kind of forgot how good this movie really was. Story is absolutely fantastic. Other than Batman quite literally just being a man-child, like, genuinely everything just works, from Batman's story arc, which is actually kind of deep and really well executed, something I didn't think would be the way it was, but here we are, to the goofy bromance with Joker and Batman in this movie, which is not subtle at all. Quite literally, the entire plot of this movie is Joker getting upset that Batman doesn't think about him, so he goes and finds the most powerful villains across the Lego multiverse to go destroy Gotham City and prove that he is the greatest villain of all time. And Batman is just a goober, I guess. Like, it's actually so silly, but you'd think it would just be a goofy story that is just there for the goofiness of it. But no, it actually takes itself weirdly seriously at times and is very good. Like, the emotional beats hit hard, everything just goes hard, and probably my favorite part about this movie is it's not just trying to be the Lego Movie again. It tries to be its own thing. I think this movie in particular could have fallen victim to just being the Lego Movie just with a black shade of paint on it, because Batman was in the Lego Movie, so you could just take his character from that and expand on the Lego Movie, have it be a kind of sequel or a prequel to the Lego Movie or whatever you want to do. I don't think that would have worked, for the record, because the Lego Movie isn't really like a thing. It's more like an idea. That sounds really deep and like over analyzing, but like the Lego Movie, like, canonically is just a kid playing with his toys, so like it really wouldn't work in that way. However, this just is peak. Like, yeah, it references the Lego Movie. The Void from the Lego Movie is in this movie, but it is so unique in its presentation. It doesn't really even feel like a Lego movie, more of a parody of the Batman films, and just kind of poking fun at how dark and serious Batman has gotten over the years. Which isn't a bad thing, mind you, but this movie, a hot take incoming, might just be the best Batman movie ever made. I know people always talk about The Dark Knight and The Batman, and those are probably the best actual Batman movies, like live action. But not only does the Lego Batman movie get the character right and get the story arcs right, well, exaggerated, of course, it also brings in new ideas to the Batman, like, extended lore that really work, and it's fantastic, truly. Genuinely, some of the most laughter I've ever had watching a movie comes from this version of Batman in particular. Just absolutely amazing. Everything down to Alfred's character, to just Barbara's character, to the Joker, to Harley even. It is just a perfect love letter to not just Batman, not just Lego DC, but Lego as a whole and Batman as a whole. And it's not just a movie about Batman. I mean, the Justice League makes an appearance. Superman is a critical part of this movie. Even though he's not on screen much, he is a very critical part of the movie. And overall, it just works very well. And I have to give him props for not just doing Batman, because if the movie was made now, 100% it would just be about Batman and Joker, because that seems to be all Lego DC is capable of nowadays. Now, you may argue that if you're looking for a more serious version of Lego Batman, that maybe the short films work better. Maybe the first Lego Batman movie, which is literally just a composition of the cutscenes from the Lego Batman 2 video game. You could maybe make an argument that that's better, or that has more like grit to it, and I think there is a bit of there is something to say that does have a nice characterization of Batman, but you cannot beat this movie. This is genuinely one of the most funny, most creative, most interesting, and heartwarming movies you will ever watch. It is genuinely one of my favorite movies of all time, and probably might be being a little hyperbolic here, but maybe in my top 5 favorite movies ever made. Which, you know, that's a bit goofy. You didn't think it would be that high, but it really is. The Lego Batman movie is pretty much perfect. Like, I genuinely couldn't think of anything I would do differently about this movie. Very similar to the Lego movie in that way, in fact. And I'm not going to spoil you if I like it more than the Lego movie. And I know a lot of people would say that this is a worse movie than the first Lego movie. And there's definitely arguments on both sides for that. Like, I think the Lego movie, it does what it does perfectly. But the Lego Batman movie isn't trying to be the Lego movie. It tries to do something different. And that different style that it goes for, it also does perfectly. If you haven't watched the Lego Batman movie, you are truly living under a rock, and I don't know what to say to you. Like, you have been missing out on absolute peak. Genuinely, some of the funniest lines I have ever heard in the movie, some of the most I have ever laughed during a movie. The Lego Batman movie is truly a peak experience. There is so much about this movie, I could just go on and on for probably hours just ranting and raving about how good the Lego Batman movie ends up being. And if for some god-awful reason you haven't watched this movie yet, and if you like Batman, you're a Batman fan, a Lego fan, or just a fan of funny movies in general, you could watch this movie and have a fantastic time. It has given birth to so many memes and cultural references that it might have even had as big of an impact as the Lego movie culture-wise. Maybe not as big of an impact on like the movie scene as a whole, but memes-wise and like culture-wise, it really did have a huge impact. This is a truly fantastic movie. You don't even have to have a Lego fan you don't even have to be a Lego fan to like this movie. You could just watch it and love it. Like, I could show this to some random Joe. I could show this movie to some random Joe Schmo who has never bought a Lego set in his life, and they would still absolutely adore this movie. I'll go right ahead and stop ranting and raving about this movie. Just go watch it yourself. That's all I really have to say. We do have 2 more movies to take a look at. The next movie is one I have never rewatched, and one I have no memories of, almost at all. The Lego Movie 2. This is gonna be interesting.
Never want to leave. By the way, S stands for silly now. I'm silly man.
Alright, I guess I get to rant about the Lego Movie 2 now. Yay! Yippee! Yippee! You know, I went into this really wanting it to be good. I mean, I watched it before, I'm almost certain. Unless I didn't, which would have been really weird, but I'm almost certain I watched this movie before. I just didn't remember anything from it. So, at worst, I was expecting this movie to be forgettable. And, kind of, maybe. I'm not gonna say it's bad, because it's not bad. Again, none of these movies are, like, bad. But this one has just an ever-present whiff of stinky to it that just lingers, and you can't really forget about it while watching the movie. It becomes present at times, is what I'm trying to say, that this movie has a few cracks. Start off with stuff I like about this movie, actually. Everything with Rex Dangervest is actually really cool. He is by far the best part of the movie. He is very cool. The whole twist with him, spoilers by the way, you've probably seen this movie, it's like 4 or 5 years old at this point, but, you know, Rex Dangervest being Emmett from the future is pretty cool. I think it is wild that this guy managed to make real-world time travel. Like, a Lego minifigure managed to make real-world time travel. Not Lego time travel, real-world time travel. This guy, dude. But yeah, I mean, being Emmett from the future, it was a pretty cool reveal, and even though I knew it going into the movie, it was still a really interesting reveal, because you expect him to be a good guy, but he's not really a good guy. Plus his whole character, his introduction just goes crazy. The fact that his ship is just a giant fist and he has raptors as his crew, like, it just goes crazy. It is really cool. Also, the stuff with Emmett and Lucy is just good, like, genuinely good in this movie. Both of their character arcs are great in this movie. Lucy bar a little rust, but I mean, I think that was on purpose. I think she warmed up to everything really quickly, like really quickly, maybe unnaturally quick, but I mean, it wasn't a bad per se. Emmett, especially at the beginning of the movie, I mean, Emmett and Lucy's whole thing was great, and I think they did it really well, and it's what I would expect from a sequel to build upon that. It was pretty cool. I like the design for Unikitty. I think that's cool. And that's kind of it. Well, actually, I do think there's a lot of stuff on paper that works really well. I think on paper, having the second movie be about the Duplo invasion, as goofy as that sounds, is actually a really cool premise for the movie. And I think the movie being kind of harshly contrasted, like, one POV is Emmett with Rex, and it's cool. You got AC/DC playing in the background. It's like heavy rock kind of feel, and then you got like the super girly stuff with the Duplos and the mini doll world thing. And I think that is cool on paper. All of that is cool on paper, and I think overall, you could say that about a lot of the stuff in this movie. The premise is good. Like, I think this movie had a lot of potential to be really good. But there's a few things. Oh yeah, also Silly Man. I forgot. Silly Man. Superman is now Silly Man in this movie. It gets like 5 points just for Silly Man being here. That is probably one of the few times that I actually laughed out loud during this movie. Like, in a good way. I laughed a few times in a not so good way, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But Silly Man did carry. We love Silly Man a lot around here. It's just great. That's something I'd say. Like, that's awesome. I love that. Everything else though isn't great. I think the Duplo stuff is a little cringe, just a little bit. I don't think I'm alone in this. When you look at the Letterboxd reviews, this movie is not as highly regarded as the Lego Movie, and I think there is a reason why. The Duplo stuff, again, on paper is really cool, but I think it's just kind of annoying. Like, the Duplo, it's just annoying, and you don't want to watch it. It's just really annoying. It's not just because I'm not a girl and it doesn't cater to me. Like, I can like girly things. I mean, I think some of the characters are cool. The one... Oh god, I forgot the name. Oh no. The goober with the spaceship and the goofy mask thingy, who's just a normal mini doll. She's cool in this movie. I like her in this movie, but I think just the normal Duplos and some of the... Oh yeah, and the Ice Cream Man's cool. But I think the normal, like, Duplos and the average goober and, like, the throwing, like, stars and the hearts that explode, dude, are just very annoying. I also do not like the musical aspect of this movie, because yes, this movie is a musical. I guess you can make an argument that the first Lego movie was like a half musical because of all the everything is awesome type stuff, which I would disagree, because you could have a song in a movie and not be a musical. This movie is basically a musical, and nothing in this movie, music-wise, even compares to the first movie even a little bit. Like, it's... just no. I know that's subjective. That's completely subjective, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that and would like the music in this movie. It's just personal taste, but I am not a fan of it. But to me, the biggest issue with this movie is just how incredibly dank this movie is. This is the most scuffed, insane movie I think I have ever watched, and that is in a bad way, mind you. In a bad way. That is the most scuffed movie I have ever watched. So, like, in the first Lego movie, they only, like, break the fourth wall and go into the real world once. And that's the scene where M&R Lord Business in the real world, and he's, like, trying to glue everything together. Like, that made sense. For the one time, I praise that for being a cool moment and an interesting sign and a reflection on the Lego community and a reflection on just kind of Lego culture in general, and I thought it was a really good, and I praised it in the first movie. They do it so many times in this movie. They do it more times than I can count. There are so many times in this movie where they are breaking the fourth wall and leaving the Lego world. In fact, I know Lucy does it a few times. Rex's entire story arc revolves on him leaving the world and getting stuck under a washer and dryer. Emmett gets out a few times, and overall, like, we see so much more of the kids, the actual real world kids, and even the mom in this movie, which on paper I guess is cool, but in execution, you're just so confused. Like, you are just confused and rattled about what is happening. Like, they break the fourth wall so many times. It is so dank. The whole other world aspect of it is directly interacting with the real world. And, you know, the first Lego movie didn't do that. I mean, it was kind of a revelation when he fell through the portal and it was the real world, right? The man upstairs is kind of like a godlike figure who ended up just being, you know, the actual real world kid, which that was a cool reveal and it worked well in the first Lego movie. But they do it so often that the cool factor of it just kind of wears off. It's not great from the second Lego movie, I'm not gonna lie. Those are probably my least favorite scenes. Like, that entire last act is completely full of just them breaking out of the Lego world and going into the real world. Dude, Lucy gets thrown out of the Lego world within, just by getting, like, launched in the air slightly. Like, dude, when she got, like, sent into the stratosphere with that or something. Like, how did that even happen? The Lego Movie 2, overall, is just mediocre in its story and its presentation in mostly everything. Again, it's not bad. There are things I like. Silly Man being one of them, yes. Again, the Rex story is pretty good in this movie. I think the Wild Style, Lucy, Emmett stuff is really good. But there are just a few things that are pretty rough. This is the first Lego movie out of all of the ones that we have watched so far that has actively made me cringe. Yes, the dreaded the dreaded C word, cringe. Like, it didn't ruin the movie for me, but boy howdy were there some moments to where I was not having a good time. Also, they frame, like, the Duplo people in the end as these all, like, oh, they were good the whole time. What do you mean? It's actually the normal people who are dumb, and, like, the actual Lego minifigures who are dumb and didn't understand. But, like, bro, like, everyone in this movie is just equally wrong and bad. Like, dude, the Duplo people were, like, they were, like, manipulating people and manipulating Queen, whatever I wanna be, or whoever the goofy block person is. She was, like, manipulating Batman into marrying her for some reason. That's another thing to do in this movie. They tried to connect it back to the Lego Batman movie, which we could infer that the Lego Batman movie was canon to the Lego movie for sure. But, like, I don't like that. Lego Batman movie was better being its separate story. Stop trying to connect it, okay? You can have stuff be its separate story. You don't need to do that. And connect the Lego Ninjago movie to this movie. You don't need to do it. Also, one more thing. What is with the Emmett slander in this movie? What is with the Emmett slander in this movie? Everyone in this movie acts like Emmett is just like a bumbling buffoon who doesn't know what he's doing. Like, what are you talking about? This dude literally just saved everyone's life. It's the same story arc he had in the first movie, but, like, kind of there's a difference with, like, Lucy and stuff like that, to where it's like that whole growing up type thing. But, like, he had a similar story arc in the first movie to where everyone's didn't really trust him and didn't really think, like, this guy's a dummy. but he proved them all wrong in the end. But yet, now in the second movie, everyone just so happened to have forgotten about that. Do they even act like Emmett didn't do anything in the movie and Wild Style did all the heavy lifting? Which, huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop slandering my boy Emmett, okay? He's cool too. Like, come on, movie. Overall, the Lego Movie 2 is a movie. I'd give it a perfect, like, 5 out of 10. If we're rating it on that scale, I don't know. I might have changed my scales like 5 times in this video, but yeah, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 5 stars. Perfect mediocre movie. It's not bad. It's not good either, really. It's just there. And I think this does actually bring up a good point on, like, did this movie really need to be made? Because they don't set up for a Lego Movie 3, and as far as I can tell, there is no Lego Movie 3 in development. There was rumors of one, but that might have just been piece by piece, we really don't know. Maybe there still is a Lego Movie 3 in development, but with a bunch of rights issues and copyright problems and a whole legal battle, I don't think it'll ever happen. And I think the ending to this movie is a good conclusion. It's just, the conclusion to the first movie was better. So, when you have the conclusion to the first movie, wrap everything up better than the conclusion to the second movie. It's like, did the second movie really need to happen? I'd argue no. Like, this movie really did not need to happen. Like, it doesn't make the first movie worse at all. Like, you can still watch the first movie and you're perfectly fine with it, but it's just like, this movie probably shouldn't have been made. Like, obviously the first movie did so well that it was going to be made. But I just think it may have been better if it was just the one movie. Yes, we're going back to the fake wood wall for this part. So, the next movie we gotta talk about is the Pharrell Williams Lego Movie. Yeah, so I kind of been hinting at it this entire video, but this isn't really a Lego movie. It's more of a self-documentary about this guy who made songs for the Minions. He really just doesn't. I don't quite know why this movie exists, to be completely honest. Like, why did he make this? Why did he make it out of Lego? Why is Snoop Dogg in this movie? That's a good question, actually. We should address that. Why is Snoop Dogg? Like, at the end of the day, this isn't a Lego movie. It has nothing to do with all of the other Lego movies. It just has nothing to do at all with anything we've talked about so far. It can barely be classed as a Lego movie. It uses Legos to tell the story of Pharrell Williams, sir, but it really doesn't have anything to do with it after that. Like, it is just a Pharrell Williams movie, but it's made with Lego pieces instead of, like, you know, doing what every normal person who wants a documentary of themselves would and just making it live action. But no, we got Lego Snoop Dogg. There you go. We happy? We happy? We got the fan service? As you might be able to tell, I have not seen the movie yet at the time of recording this. Actually, at the time of recording this, the movie is very long for being out, and when this video is being posted, the movie's probably not even out yet. But I'm seeing it early. Not because I got invited. Although that'd be really funny if I got invited and a certain other guy didn't. That'd be really silly. But, you know, I am seeing a early showing here. Very soon. So, yeah, let's go ahead and cue the montage for that, you know? Let's just cue that montage because, yeah, let's cue the montage. I will report back after seeing the Pharrell Williams Lego Movie. Oh yeah, also, since Piece by Piece is such a new movie, I mean, it's literally, like, just came out as of the time I'm recording this video, so Warner Brothers doesn't like when you use piece by piece footage. They will take you down and they will make you cry. So if there's some goofy stuff done to the footage or some goofy filters or God forbid the anime women, I'm doing what I can. Okay, I understand that since the movie's not even out yet. Okay, they don't want you just uploading the entire movie on YouTube. Don't want a Deadpool and Wolverine moment. But yeah, the movie it also kind of makes this video impossible. So I'm trying my best here. The footage looks like absolute crap. Then I'm trying. I'm really trying, man.
A long time ago, I would write my own chronicle. Sit around, that ain't me. No one's following a lead. Let me build what I see. You know it starts with a piece. Give it time, let it breathe instead of suffocating crazy dreams.
It's the guys from the same. They're here, guys. They're here. Oh, there's two of them. They're just four. Daft Punk squared. So what about the Pharrell Williams, eh? Alright. It's been about 24 hours since I watched the Lego Pharrell Williams movie. Now, again, like I said before, this isn't a Lego movie, and comparing it to all of the other Lego movies is frankly silly. Like, it is so silly, you can't do it. You just genuinely can't do it. It just doesn't work. But I'm gonna review this as what it is, a documentary with Lego aspects, because that's what it is, a self-documentary, true and true. That's not a bad thing, but it's not a Lego movie, and I think even classifying it as a Lego movie is a bit wacky, but it is, so we're gonna have to talk about it. Now, there's a lot, I'm not gonna, this is a very hard one to critique, per se, because it is just the story for Pharrell Williams. There's not really a story outside of that. There's not much else there. I will say it is presented very well, and as someone who doesn't really know much about Pharrell Williams, I mean, the movie was pretty entertaining and had me quite engaged on his story. Like, I didn't even know he made the McDonald's jingle. Like, how does one just do that? Like, what? Of course, the cameos were great, obviously. Like, obviously there was a lot of cameos. A bunch of goofy goobers like Snoop Dogg and Daft Punk, which, I mean, you gotta love Daft Punk. I mean, of course they're here. It's fantastic. But I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting the rap cameos to, like, be overwhelming to a certain degree, to where it would be kind of like, oh, look at that, it's Snoop Dogg again, wahoo, for the 10th time, whoa. But it really didn't feel like that. Okay, this is a very well-made documentary, and I think it doesn't get, Pharrell Williams himself doesn't get overshadowed by all of the goofy stuff in here and all of the cameos. I think it works very well. The big question surrounding this movie was, why? One, why a Pharrell Williams documentary? And after watching the movie, dude, after seeing all the stuff this guy has done, I would make a documentary on myself too, okay? Let's be real here. But the other question of why Lego, was the main one I had. Why make this in Lego? Why not make it in live action? Live action just seems like the better call. That's what every normal person who makes a self-documentary does. Like, they just make it in live action, right? But no, I actually think this weirdly works. And it's mainly because of the visuals, which are by far the best and most impressive part of this movie. Visually, this might be the most visually stunning Lego movie, maybe ever. It looks so insanely good that it kinda took me aback. Like, I was not expecting it to be the visuals to be as impactful as they were. it was really crazy to me. Like, genuinely, this movie's, like, visuals, it kind of feels like a drug trip in a good way. Like, they just go crazy with it. Like, they have some of the most insane visuals you will ever see. Hopefully, there's some footage playing in the background. This movie is pretty new, so, and I'm gonna have to be dodging copyright strikes this entire video, but hopefully there's some footage playing in the background of what I'm talking about. The way that, like, the music flows with the movie and the visuals is something that is just stunning. Like, even if you don't care about rap, even if you don't care about Pharrell Williams, it just, seeing this movie for the visuals alone is also valid, because it just goes crazy. Like, the way everything just works. Goofy. I will say that some of the line delivery in this movie does take you out of the visuals a bit. Like, the movie starts with Pharrell saying, "Life is like a Lego piece." It's like, what are you going on about? What does that mean? Like, and then especially the scenes with Snoop Dogg, they just get way too dank. They get way too dank. Like, they get way too bait. Like, it gets trippy. Like, the line delivery with some of these guys is very goofy. But again, going back to the actual, like, plot, kind of. I mean, the plot is literally just Pharrell Williams, so, I mean, it's not much of a plot, but it's still as much of a plot as a documentary could have. They go into some pretty crazy detail in this movie that I was not expecting. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how this movie got away with a PG rating. Like, there is straight up, like, some, I'd say, softcore Lego bad stuff in this movie, which is like, I guess. I never thought I would see Lego women in bikinis, but here we are, I guess. Like, here we are. How did that get past the board? I'm not saying this movie needed to be censored. I'm actually really glad it wasn't censored. Not for the Lego women in bikinis, but mainly because it makes it so he can actually tell his story and not get, like, censored. Like, obviously that's a good thing, but it's like the board is so, like, they're so harsh on every other movie, but it seems like they just let Pharrell really do whatever he wants, which again is a very good thing. He managed to make the movie he wanted to make, which is fantastic. Like, that is the dream for most people, and it's great. But, like, they go into some crazy detail in this movie. Like, they start talking about Black Lives Matter protests and police brutality. Like, that just kind of surprised me that was gonna be in a Lego movie. Like, it gets so, like, real and emotional. It is a fantastic display, honestly. Like, this movie is truly something interesting. It just works, is the best way I could describe the Pharrell Williams movie. It just works. Everything works. The visuals are just insane. The story of Pharrell is told in a very engaging and interesting manner. The voice acting is a little goofy and a little bad in, like, the best way possible. Like, the voice acting is so, like, bad it's good almost. Like, it's so goofy. The cameos are great. Obviously, seeing Lego Daft Punk is just insane. And overall, it is just a fantastic time for all music enjoyers. Like, if you're a music enjoyer, you're gonna like this movie. You don't even have to like rap. I'm not a big rap fan. Other than MF Doom, I don't really like any rap music. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't care. It's not my type of music. I'm more into, like, the Guns N' Roses and Green Day type of music. But, like, even still, if you're just a music enjoyer, this movie is going to be the movie for you. If you are a fan of visuals, it's gonna be the movie for you, of amazing visuals. Being completely honest, this movie did blow me away in way more than I'm expecting. I went in with basically no expectations, as you could probably tell from the previous clips, and came out with not a new favorite LEGO movie, but one that I would definitely remember for years to come. Alright everyone, that is about it for this section of the video. Let's go ahead and get on to the final ranking. The final LEGO movie ranking. Yes, it's time. It's finally time. After talking about LEGO movies for way too long, it is finally time to rank every single LEGO movie ever made. All 5 of them, from worst to best, in order. Let's go. In last place, it was kind of difficult to choose, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a few of these movies that aren't really great, I'm gonna be honest. But the movie that is by far the most forgettable and the most kind of lackluster is the LEGO Movie 2. Again, I don't even think this movie really should have existed. It doesn't do much that is, like, new or great. I mean, yeah, you have Chris Pratt playing 2 characters, which is kind of cool, but, like, other than that, it's not a really great movie, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just forgettable. It's just kind of generic and forgettable overall. Like, it's not a bad time at all, to be honest. Like, it is genuinely not a bad time. None of the LEGO movies are, like, genuinely bad, but this one is the closest one to getting to that. Like, this is... If I could describe this movie with one word, it would be mid. Like, it's just mid. It's just a mid movie. It is not as good as the LEGO first one, and it does fail to capture the awe and aura of the first one. So in second to last place, we have the LEGO Ninjago movie. Yes, the LEGO Ninjago movie. This movie, again, just suffers from the fact that it is not Ninjago. It really has nothing to do with Ninjago. It is so busy trying to be the LEGO movie and kind of copy the LEGO movie's whole flow that it abandons what made Ninjago so good in the first place. The reason why it's above the LEGO Movie 2 for me is because this movie is genuinely hilarious, and every time I watch it, I have a fantastic time. Like, genuinely, I do. I've watched this movie twice this year now, and I had a fantastic time both times. And it is not responsible for killing Ninjago or whatever, but it is just a movie, right? It's just a movie. That's fine, but it really doesn't touch any of the top 3. Now, all of the top 3 are very close in my opinion, but number 3's gotta be the Pharrell Williams LEGO Movie documentary. Again, talking about this movie and comparing it to all of the others is very difficult, and realistically it shouldn't even be here because it is a documentary, not a LEGO movie. But as a documentary, it is killer. The visuals are insane. The overall presentation is heart-wrenching. It is a fantastic display of what you could do when you're not being censored, or you have the tools to make the movie you want to make. You can really see Pharrell's passion in this movie, and it is pretty stunning. And then at number 2, these top 2 are basically tied for me, right? The LEGO Movie and the LEGO Batman movie are some of the best movies ever made. Like, they are truly iconic. But in the second place slot, I'm gonna have to go the LEGO Movie. Now, the LEGO Movie is perfect, right? There is nothing they could do to make the movie better. It is a truly magnificent display of what a toy movie should be. Again, look at the other movies that try to copy it, like the Playmobil movie. It doesn't work, because it is a truly fantastic peak experience. But for me personally, the LEGO Batman movie, just barely, by a small smidge, I think is better than the Lego movie. Because the Lego Batman movie is not only a fantastic Lego movie, on par if not better than the first, it is also perhaps the most accurate, faithful, and maybe even the best Batman movie ever made. I know the Dark Knight fans are gonna come after me for that one, but it truly might be one of, if not the best Batman movies ever made. It is definitely the most faithful adaptation of Batman. It is such a magnificent experience that has its just emotional moments, but hilarious moments. It's got some of the most goofy stuff in it. It is truly the pinnacle of these Lego movies. So for that, I think it deserves to be crowned the best Lego movie. And with that, that's about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I actually spent money on this video, so, you know, please recuperate my theater costs for seeing the Pharrell Williams movie, please. Don't, I mean, you can't. The video's not monetized. Channel's not monetized. Unless this video somehow gets like 1 million views and I become monetized. I'm not making that money back. But, I mean, here you are. Just subscribe. Just a subscription would be nice, you know? Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. Bye.